guys once again for joining us for this episode of the 2025 Summer Movie Preview Series. And, you see that catchy tune with the Around the Ballpark. And again, you've been with us long enough to know on our way to the ballpark, we talk about all sorts of things, and movies are one of them. And so 2025 is going to be a big year for summer hit movies. So we are going to be talking about them for the next 8 minutes here. So I am your host, Mike Redmond, with the co-host Darren Redmond. If you wouldn't mind, hope you're doing well. Share a few words from our sponsors over at Nashville Tax Solutions, and then we'll get into talking about this movie.
Palm Bay and Fort Pierce, are tax problems weighing you down? Behind on your filings? Maybe facing a lien? Don't panic. Nashville Tax Solutions is here with expertise and dedication that you need. Their experienced team handles the IRS, so you don't have to. But don't just hear from us. Hear what some of the clients have had to say. For example, Chris Bennett and his team turned a nightmare into peace of mind. They're sharp, they're honest, and they truly care. Don't let tax stresses take over your life. Call 855-627-4829 and visit NashvilleTaxSolutions.com or email info@NashvilleTaxSolutions.com today. Nashville Tax Solutions, real help for real results.
Thank you, Darren, and thank you, Nashville Tax Solutions. And this movie that we're going to talk about, I'm excited to dive into this one a little bit. But on June the 6th is a big weekend for movies. Ballerina, of course, coming out, and super happy, The Life of Chuck, both coming out that same day, as is this film, Dangerous Animals. And so we're going to chat about it. And so I'm going to go ahead and throw that logo on there, or that preview there. It says, "You're safer in the water." Don't know if that's necessarily true, but in this movie, it doesn't look to be very safe in the water. I'm just throwing that out there. But I'm going to let that hang out here in between us. So let me go ahead across the board. We all watched the trailer. So I want to start with what our ratings were, and then we'll dive into it a little bit. So I myself gave this movie a 6.5 on my end. Darren also gave a 6.5. And then Eileen with a 3. I think she's not a big horror movie fan. She said it was too bloody. But what I want to talk about is, she said it seems that most of the plot was given away. I'm willing to bet $100 that she'll get off the boat. Yes, this preview felt more like less of a coming attraction and more of a, we're going to show you the whole movie. They might as well have shown the ending credits during the trailer as well. I get it. They want to hook people in, but if you give it all away, then they don't need to see it. So I'm not quite sure that. So I don't know if you got that perspective as well. We kind of touched on that on Ballerina, but this one really
Mike said hook them in. Yeah. Get it? Fish, hook.
That was planned. That was totally planned. But no, good that you caught that. I think, with Ballerina, it was more like, did they need to give away the surprise ending? Well, yes, because people already knew. But this was just the whole movie in 2 minutes and 50-second trailer. So, but just your thoughts on what you've seen in this. And of course, I mentioned we gave the same rating, but what do you like, what you don't like?
So I am a big you do you kind of thing. You be you. I truly feel that way. And as somebody who has completed 2 documentaries, I love the process. I've got a problem with, personally, there's going to be a market there, and it's going to feed that market. And I like horror films. I like slasher films, but I like more of the life after death kind of supernatural thing. That's what really I'm interested in. But with this, there are evil people in this world. And I want to be very clear. I'm not saying movies like this should be banned. But I'm like, okay, why? Why? Why do we want to? Well, look, you're on a boat. You're far away from. You can't call help, and there's sharks, and somehow the shark knows he's a serial killer. I mean, it's. And again, you can say, well, he knows the area to take the boat in. I mean, okay, and it's just, I don't know,
Yeah,
it has a market, but there's something that I find like pornography. I mean, seriously, it's like not pornography, but pornography. If you understand what I'm saying,
I do. Yep. Yeah, I think when you go to, you're gonna have a good time going to see this movie. There's gonna be those scenes where like, okay, come on, like really, there's no signal. Okay, really, this. Oh, you fell for that. Oh, okay, it's kind of like that trailer where it's like, oh no, there's a serial killer coming. Let's hide behind the hooks and what I forget what commercial it was, but yeah,
that's a great commercial.
But
let's run away from the car that's running. Let's hide behind these hooks.
Yes. And he's looking at him like, really? Are you serious? So let me read the synopsis here. A shark-obsessed serial killer holds Zephyr, a rebellious surfer, captive on his boat. Racing against time, she must figure out a way to escape before he carries out a ritualistic feeding to the sharks below. Sounds like just a gentleman right there. So this movie is going to be also coming out, like you said, on June the 6th.
Now, is this Pixar?
Yes. Yes. This is Pixar. Speaking of, it says nothing to do with Pixar, but there was a guy one time I had worked for Cinema World, and I was doing film projection, and they built the trailer for Saw. They were showing, it was a horror movie, and it was a Polar Express, but they put Saw trailer on the Polar Express film thing and just ruined everybody's day that was not expecting to see that. Just had to throw that out there. But this movie.
Stop.
No, it really happened. It really happened.
Wow.
Bad. Yeah. Back then they would build the trailers like you're allowed to, as long as it was the same genre. Like, it should have been all animated stuff, but of course someone had a little bit too much fun, got themselves released from their job. But in this movie, like Aileen said, what's going to happen? Everyone's going to die. And obviously, we know where it's going. It's just a fun experience. You know what you're getting into. It's like watching a Colorado Rockies game. You know they're going to lose,
yes,
but you're still watching baseball, right? So you're going to, yeah.
No, you're right. No, I'm just, that was just old man lip smack.
Right? That was rough. But so it got me thinking with movies like this, of course, there's some to choose from. So I got to ask you, outside of Jaws, is there another shark movie that you'd put up there? I mean, obviously Jaws is what it was, but was it The Shallows, Jaws 2, The Meg, Open Water, Sharknado? Do you have like a top tier shark film?
Okay, so besides Jaws, right? I did like, what was it? The Trench? What was that with the big mega shark? That was actually
Trench,
pretty good.
Or was it Open Water or Trench?
Trench 2, Trench 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like that. But not a shark, but very similar to Jaws, The Deep, the 1977. I enjoyed that movie.
Okay, that's a good one. I forgot about that one. What about Shark Tale? Shark Tale is another good one.
Yes, and amazing how that shark actually looked like what's his name who smacked Chris Rock.
Right. Yes. But this movie, like I said, it's going to be fun. We're going to see it. I know I'll be seeing it.
We'll see it.
And it's middle of the pack in terms of summer movies, but it does feel, and we said this before, because I believe Eileen was saying spooky season, like even though it's typically September, October, like there's usually a release of them in the summer, but this has been, out of the 10 that we've done so far, it's been, I think 6 of our 10 films have been in the horror realm. So definitely there's a niche audience there. And so we'll see what happens. But this movie across the board, it seems to be about an average of a 5.5 on our end. So we'll see. But thanks you guys for watching.
I think that's right on. I think it's going to be a 5.5.
5.5. Yep. So thank you guys for watching this episode. Check us out each and every day. At 7 a.m., a new video release for a 30-day period while all the summer blockbusters are released. Check out this episode, all the other ones. Hit the like button, subscribe button. Tomorrow at 7 a.m., we'll be reviewing How to Train Your Dragon and then continuing on after that. So make sure, like I said, share this content with friends and family. And until next time, we'll see you around the ballpark. Bye, guys.